going on out there? It's Nas here from uselesslabs.com. In the previous tutorial, we ended up on the fact that we had a very simple AJAX whereby we could just fetch some data from the PHP via AJAX. As you can see over there, that's the PHP, and we had index.html over there, and we had AJAX.js over there that could be able to fetch some data from the PHP. As you can see over there, when we click over there, we can be able to see that statement. Hey there, this is some text from the server. Can you see me? Hold on, I'm gonna show you real quick. As you can see, that's what exactly we have from our PHP. In this tutorial, we're going to take a little bit advanced compared to the first tutorial, whereby we will have a form. As you can see from the demo over here, this form over here could be just like a login form or any user data. That means you allow the user to input some data from his end, and he can be able to submit the data using AJAX and can be able to process in the back end and produce the outcome to the user without refreshing the page. Let's take a look at example over here. I'll write something like maybe the username should be maybe I'll just say maybe Michael. That's the username, and the password I'll type maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6. What's going to happen is that in the PHP is going to just give us the feedback of what we just typed over here using AJAX. There we go. It tells you the values received by the server are username Michael and password 1 2 3 4 5 6. So let's see how we're going to be able to do that. We'll start over from where we ended up, and we'll go all the way there. So here we go. This is what we had in the previous tutorial. So as you can see here in index.html, we had the previous content. I'm going to get rid of that, except that button. I'll still leave it over there. Here I will put in a form, and I'll give it a title of login form. It's not going to be the nicest one, but just for the demonstration, it's going to be very alright. That's the heading, and the next thing that I'm going to do, I will give it two inputs, one for the username and the other one for the password. So hold on, here we go. We'll say maybe I'll call it field, and in it I'll give it an input. I'll give it an input of type text, and we don't need to have this name. We just need to give it an ID or the class. Also, I'll give it the ID of username. And likewise down here we need another field, but this one should be a type of password, and the ID I'll just give it password. The ID could be anyhow you want. And down there we have the click me. I'll change that button into maybe submit, as we just saw in the previous tutorial. Okay, so the submit, let me see how it's gonna look like right now. So far we have nothing fancy. It's just exactly what we just expected. So let's see, we need to style it a little bit so that will make it look much better compared to the way it's looking right now. So we need to give the field some styles. So give it a second. I'll go there we go. In the styles or CSS, we need to get rid of some things in here. That one is here going, and what else? Yeah, let's give it a padding top over here. Padding top of 30 pixels. Let's take a look at how it's gonna look like. Oh yeah. That's much better. Okay, fine. What else? We need to give the class of field, or we need to give it a certain styles. I'll give it a margin top. Let's give it a margin top of 20 pixels. This will make sure that the two inputs will be separating each other with the from the top all the way to the first input. It will have 20 pixels, and they will have 20 pixels. Don't worry, we'll take care of the button later on. And down there, what else do we need? We need to give it some more styles. Let's take the field input That means we need to style. We want to style the input in there. We need to give them the width of 400 pixels, and we need to give it a little bit. Well, let's get rid of the lines. Outline none, and what else? Border. We need to give it a border of 1 pixel solid. C1, C1, C1. Hold on, I just need to get rid of this. Alright, what else do we need? Let me just refresh this and see real quick. So far we have that, and now we still need to style these input more. We need to give them padding to make them look much better. So I will give them padding of, padding top and bottom of 10 pixels, and left and right 5 pixels. Let's see how they're gonna look like right now. Oh yeah, they're getting there much better. And let's take a look at the button. We need to style that button a little bit. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to delete that style, but it's all good. We can still be able to take care of that. So I'll just go, I'll give it an outline of none. What else? Border none, to make sure that we get rid of the outline and the border that this button has by default. We need to give it a background of what color is it? Give it a second. I'll just copy that real quick. Just save time. There we go. And what else? We need to give it a padding of 10 pixels. Just to make sure that at least it's looking much better. And what else? We need to give it a margin top to make sure that it's separated from the input field. There we go. Let's say, oh yeah, much better. But that text color, we need to change it to white. So we need to go for color, white, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so let's see how it's gonna look like. There we go. But I still need, in this tutorial, I wanna add a hover style on it. So I'll go here. So that at least when we hover, it will show a little bit of different behavior. So we need to give it a cursor pointer. And what else? We need to give it a background. Let me just copy this real quick from the other side over here. The background of that much. That's gonna be, is it, yeah, what is it? That orange, or what is it? I don't know, whatever, it should be orange, red, or something like it. It doesn't really matter. So here we go. So here we'll be typing our username, and here we'll go with the password. Then we click the button to submit. But one thing, we still need to add some feedback from the server down there. So I'll just go down there in the input, and right under the input, I'll just add some maybe feedback. I'll just do some random thing, and let me just give it an ID of class feedback. There we go. Let's see how it's gonna look like. Perfect. But yet we still need to give it some styles. So we need to go styles margin top. I'll still give it a 20 pixels. And what else? We need to give it a text align center. Text align center, so that it stays at the very, very center of our. I shouldn't even have given it, because the whole container is text align center, so it doesn't matter. You could give it or not, but let me just get rid of that. So text align center, there we go. It's right at the center. It still stays at center because you can see from the container over here we have text align center, so everything will be centered exactly the way we want. So here we go. Let's go to the AJAX. What do we want to do? When we press that button, we want to be able. Let me just get rid of this for now. Start afresh. Here we go, AJAX. Here, when we click the button, we need to get the username and password. So I will go here, var username, and from the content that we had, from what we had over there, we had this given the username, the ID of username right there. So just in case, I'll just copy that one, and I'll paste it over there. And what do we want to get? We want to get the value. And just for security purposes, let's trim the whole what we get over here. Trimming means that we need to get rid of the space after and before the text. And down here, well, let's see, we wanna get the password. There we go. Okay, so here we can be able to get the username and the password. What do we want to do? We want to be able to take this username and password, send them to the server, and be able to tell the user what username did he input or whatever it is. So anyways, we could still be able to process this username and password, yeah, and do whatever we want to do in the back end. But for the moment, we're just going to tell him what he or she input. So let's go over here, AJAX. Sorry, I'll just go down there, $AJAX, as usual. Go over there, put a semicolon over there, and we'll start. The first thing is the URL. Which URL do we want to get? We want to be able to go all the way to server feedback. So here we go, server feedback.php, feedback.php. That's the URL that we want to get. And what else? We want to send, we need to go for, like, we have the URL, we need to send some data. What data do we want to send? So you will send data in terms of objects. So I'll give the username, that's the variable that I'll use the PHP to get it. So I'll go for that one, that's the username. Give it a second. I'll put a comma, and password, I'll just call it that one, and there we go. So we have the username and password good to go over there. So that means from this username and password, since these are the data, we still need to tell the user, we still need to tell the browser what type of, which method do we want to use. So here we use the word type. So type is post. That means we're going to use post. It could be get as well, but since we're sending username and password, we'll use post. And what data type are we expecting from the server? We're expecting to get JSON as our data type from the server. So next thing, here we could use a before send. Before send can be able to, or we could put before send over here so that we could be able to show the loading div or anything. We'll talk about those ones sometimes later in the future, but for this time we're just going to use the success as a function as usual. Success text the my data, I'll call it my data over here, and in my data we can be able to do anything. This is the feedback that comes from the server. So let's see what's up. We use over here data, we use user and password, USR and PSWD. These are our variables. So that means in the server over here, in the PHP, server feedback.php, we need to use those variables to be able to reflect these, to get those variables sent by the HTTP request. So here, as usual, we need to use if is set just to make sure that everything, those variables are set. If is set USR, sorry, there we go. If is set USR and is set $post. There we go. How did we name it? Give it a second. I'll go over here. We named it PSWD. Make sure that you give it exactly the way you named it down there. So here we go. If these are actually set, so what do we want to do? We want to be able to get this and this. So let's give some variables over there. So I will just call it username. And what's the username? This is actually our username that we just sent. And what's the password? We'll give it a password. That's the variable that we want to use very soon. That's the password. So let's see what's up. So from here we can be able to get the username and password. Let's see, what else do we want to do? Yeah, since we're going to use the JSON array, so here we need to define our JSON array so that we can be able to show it to the user what exactly they have input. So here we go. I'll give it a variable over here. I'll call it JSON array, and this is just gonna be a very basic array. So what do we want to do in here? Let me just call it my array, just in case someone is going to confuse it. So I'll just call it my array. So what do I want to do with my array? Give it a second. I'll just copy that one. In my array, what I want to do is just to put these values in it, the username and password, and I want to show these username and password to the user. So here we go. I'll just put in array. There we go. Here I'll put in username, and I'll take this value. I'll put it in here. Sorry. I'll put it in there. And the password, what's the password? The password should be this one here. Alright, that's the username and password. I want us to be able to take these values and just feedback to give the user some feedback. So here I want to echo JSON encode. The reason why I use JSON encode is because I want to take this array, put it into convert into JSON format, and send it to the user. So here we go. That's pretty much what we have. So let me just double check real quick over here to make sure that everything will work exactly the way I want. There we go. So here we go. Look, coming back over here for now, I'll just console log my data. That means I just want to use console to show some data coming from the server. Hold on. I'll just inspect element over here and I'll go on console. Let's see what's up. I'll just type in, for example, hello. What should be the username? Maybe John. That's the username, and password should be maybe 1 2 3 4 5 6. Let's click submit. There we go. That means the username and password have been delivered to the server exactly the way we wanted. So you see, that's the password and that's the username. So what do we want to do from there? What we want to do is just to be able, and you can see that it's line number 13 that is giving that feedback. Line number 13 in JS. Can you see? Line number 13 in AJAX.js is the one that is giving that console. That means we are already getting the sending the data to the server, and we can be able to receive it exactly we want. So what do we want to do over here? So here because since we got an array, you can see over here it's an object. We need to get into this object to be able to get these values. So I'll use my data dot each. I think you already know about this. This is just a simple jQuery function that we're going for, and here it will take two parameters, index and value. And what do we want to do here? In here I just want to console log val. That means the value that we want to get. What value do we want to get? Let's say username. This is exactly how we named it over here in our server, in the server. If it was named username, you need to call it username. If you call it maybe let me just call it user, just show the difference. And maybe this one, let me call it pass, just to show the difference, so that at least you can get to know that we're not repeating any variables here. So here you go. This is the val user. This is exactly how we typed over here. So let's see, can we be able to console that? And let me console the other one as well. Put a semicolon over there and a semicolon over there, and here I'll call it pass. So let's see. Let's try one more time. That's John, and the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6. And when I submit over there we go. We can get exactly what we want. So let's just show our user what he or she typed. So we just go over here on feedback. That's jQuery .html. You typed your username is what username do what we want to show him. We want to show him what exactly he typed over there, and we're gonna call it user, and we need to append something else, and your password is there we go. Give it a second here. I need to use that. I like it that way. Your username is that one, and your password is what did I just do? There we go. Okay, I'll get rid of that space, and here I will go for val and pass. That's exactly what we told. That's exactly what we get from our server. So let's see what's up. I'll go over here. I'll type John in the username, and password I'll just type 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. And when I submit over there, you can see that it tells you your username is John and your password is 1 2 3 4 5 6. That means these are the values that we got in the server from the front end. We can be able to process, we can be able to log in, we can be able to do anything over here. So this is all for this tutorial. If you like my channel, please subscribe, and for more information, for more code, you can go to my website www.eastnerslab.com. You can be able to see this code, and we can be able to compare it with the one that you have. If you have any question, just please ask me on the comments over there. I'll get back to you later. Talk to you later. Bye.